All right, let's get right into it. We're about to dive into this really complex world where music, fame, and organized crime all smash into each other. And right at the heart of it all is an artist who goes by Makabelico. Now, he's a huge voice in a genre called narco-corridos. You might know them as drug ballads. But here's the thing. Some people are arguing his music is way more than just telling stories. They're actually claiming it's a weapon.
And that brings us to the single biggest question of this whole explainer. It's a pretty wild one, but it's exactly what's at stake here. I mean, think about it. Can a song, just a collection of lyrics and beats, actually be considered an act of terrorism? Let's dig into the evidence and see what's going on.
So to really understand the story, we have to start with the accusations themselves. A really serious denouncement has been made against the artist, and they're labeling his music with a very specific, very loaded word: propaganda.
The first claim is just blunt. No beating around the bush. It's not saying he glorifies crime or sings about it. No, it states flat out that the artist himself is a criminal. Full stop.
And if you thought that was intense, it escalates immediately. Right after calling him a criminal, the denouncement levels up to an even more severe charge, that he is a terrorist.
And this, right here, is the absolute core of the accusation. It's not just about Makabelico the person anymore. It's about the purpose of his music. It's being explicitly called propaganda for a very specific group, the Cartel Del Noreste.
Okay, so propaganda is a heavy word, right? Let's just make sure we're all on the same page. As you can see, it's basically information, usually biased or even misleading, that's used to push a particular agenda or point of view. So keeping that definition in mind, let's take a look at what the artist himself has to say in his work.
Now let's get into the music itself. We're going to look right at the lyrics from Makabelico's song Hablan de mí, which, by the way, translates to "They talk about me." Let's see what kind of picture he paints of himself. And boom, right out of the gate, the lyrics hit you with this theme of just immense power. He's not just bragging about being rich. This is a claim to be on a whole different level, a level that's totally beyond the reach of normal authority. And he gets incredibly specific. This isn't just some vague boasting. It is a detailed inventory of his power. He's rapping about a gold pistol, a diamond-covered throne, a fleet of about 50 cars, and get this, surveillance tech that he claims not even Obama has. He's painting a very, very clear picture of his resources.
And then the lyrics shift from personal wealth to claiming territory. In the language of the cartels, the plaza is a huge deal. It's a key smuggling route, an area of operations. So this line isn't just a boast. It's a public declaration of ownership and a clear warning to any rivals.
So, okay, we've seen the very heavy accusations, and we've heard the artist's own words. Let's put them side by side and just see how directly they actually connect. This slide really lays it all out. The accusation, his music is propaganda for the Cartel Del Noreste. And in his lyrics, he talks about having the trust of the cartel and gives a shout-out to the Treviños. Well, the Treviño family is famously known for leading that exact cartel, so he's not really hiding the connection. He's making it pretty explicit.
All of this brings us to a much bigger question. What is the point of this music? Beyond just being something to listen to, what role does it actually play out there in the real world? Why does any of this matter?
When you break it all down, the music seems to be working on 3 different levels. First, it projects power. It's creating this myth of being invincible, untouchable. Second, it claims territory, acting like a public broadcast of who's in control. And third, it declares loyalty. It's basically a public tribute to the cartel's leadership. So really, it's a strategic communication tool that's just disguised as a song.
And all of this leaves us with a final, really difficult question. When an artist documents this lifestyle with so much detail and so much flair, are they just an observer, just reflecting a brutal reality? Or does all that glorification cross a line and turn the art into a recruitment tool? The case of Makabelico sits right on that blurry line, and it forces us all to think about the real power of music and where that responsibility truly lies.